Would you love to make new friends, but you find it challenging because you're either too busy, or you're shy or introverted, or you don't leave the house very much, especially these days? If that's you, then you need to watch my new series starting today on friendship, where in today's video I'm going to talk about really simple and easy ways that you can make new friends and expand your circle of friendship. That's coming up right now, so stay tuned because you don't want to miss it. Hello everyone, my name is Danielle. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're returning. Today I'm so excited to start my 3-part series on friendship, where I'm going to cover in the next 3 weeks different aspects of friendship that will help you make new friends, deepen your friendships that you have, and also avoid toxic friendships and how to keep from ruining the friendships that you have. So in today's video, we're going to talk about easy ways that you can make new friends even if you're shy or introverted or very busy, or especially nowadays you're not leaving your house very much. So listen, if you've never seen my face before and you're new to my channel, then welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like video content that motivates, inspires, and encourages you to be the best version of yourself you can be, physically, emotionally, and mentally, then you're gonna love it here. So please hit that subscribe button down below, ring the bell so you never miss a video. I do upload videos on a weekly basis, usually about twice a week. And remember to like and share this content if you do like it. I would really appreciate that. So with that, let's get into the contents of this video. If you're an adult, I want to encourage you to take a moment and think back to your childhood. Do you remember that it was much easier to make friends in childhood than it is now as an adult? Think back to a time when you would just go up to a friend's house and knock on the door and ask if they could come out and play, or you would see people in your neighborhood, you would see kids at the playground, and it was very easy and natural to make friends, to just interact and play with other kids in your neighborhood or in whatever it was that you were doing. And it just came naturally. And as we mature and grow into adulthood, it's not that way anymore. We get busy, we get really involved in what we're doing, we have other things going on, and somewhere along the line, making new friends can become kind of awkward and uncomfortable, even if you're an outgoing person like I am. Now, I have a different perspective on this because, just to let you know, I grew up as a kid not having any friends, and I'm not kidding, I really didn't. I have a disability, I have cerebral palsy, so as a kid, my lifestyle as a kid was much different than it is now as an adult. I had a brace, I had a shoe with a lift, I walked with a very pronounced limp, there was a lot of things that I couldn't do physically, and as we know, unfortunately, sometimes kids can be cruel, sometimes it can be really hard if you're different, and I really experienced this as a child and in my teenage years, so I don't have a lot of really good school memories with a lot of close friends. I didn't have that, and I think because I didn't, I now appreciate and understand friendship so much more, because knowing what it's like not to have that and then having that makes it so valuable and important to me. So I'm approaching this from a little bit different perspective. Okay, so today I want to give you 5 tips on how you can make new friends even if you're shy, even if you're quiet, even if you don't leave the house very much these days, even if you're really busy. The first tip I want to give you is look at your social media accounts. We're all on social media for the most part. I only know one person in my life that isn't on any social media, but if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on LinkedIn, look at your social media accounts. Who in your social media world would you like to get to know better? A lot of times you can connect with people and develop new friendships and you don't have to see them. They might be people that live out of town. They might be people that you just are friends with over social media, but you still can develop friendships that way and deepen friendships that way. I did this recently with a woman named Amy that I met on social media on Instagram. She has a fantastic Instagram. She's interested in fashion and luxury the way I am. I often had commented on her posts. I really enjoyed her Instagram account, and I had reached out to her personally a few times for fashion advice, for advice on luxury handbags, and she always responded to me even though we didn't know each other and we never met in person. And you know what, we developed a friendship that way. And when I started my journey on YouTube, I reached out to her and told her, and you know what, she was one of my first subscribers, and when I started my fashion channel, she subscribed then. So you never know who you could become friends with that you might know on social media. Who do you admire? Who do you really like? Who really has the same values and interests that you do that you could see yourself developing a friendship with? So looking at your social media accounts, looking at your phone list in your phone, decide who you would like to become friends with. You can have virtual dates. You can engage in groups online where you can become friends, share opinions, share thoughts, really get to know people that way. And that's a way that doesn't take a lot of time. You don't have to leave your house, but really look at that. The second tip I'm going to give you is really a no-brainer, but that is simply to leave your house. Now, I know for some of us, we may not want to leave our house right now very much because of wanting to stay healthy and because of COVID, etc., etc. I totally understand that, but we all do have to leave the house for something. We have to go to the grocery store, we have to go to the gas station, we have to do things like that. So when you do leave the house, make the most of those opportunities. Look at joining a group, look at joining a sport, look at joining a club, look at joining a gym, look at different social outlets that you can join that are safe, that are social distancing, but where you can be around people to some degree. Look for virtual groups. One of the things that I really promote on my fashion channel is people joining groups on Facebook that are groups that are specific to handbags that they really like or clothing designers that they really like, because there's some really great chats in those groups and you can really get to know people that way as well. So look at joining clubs, look at joining groups, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person, because that will really expose you to more people and give you more opportunities to make friends. The third tip I'm going to give you really goes along a little bit with the second tip where I said to leave the house. Now, as I mentioned in the second tip, even if you don't want to be going out a lot right now and leaving the house a ton right now, we do have to leave our house for some things. So in my third tip, what I'm going to tell you as it relates to the second tip is make the most of the times when you have to leave the house. When you're out and about, compliment people. Now, it can be very awkward to try and start a conversation with a stranger, and I really wish they taught this skill in school, because I believe that being able to start a conversation with anybody is a skill that we all should have. It is so, so valuable to our social growth, our social maturity, and just the way we are as people. It's really a great skill to have. One of the ways that you can develop that skill within yourself and help yourself become a little bit more outgoing and really meet new people, when you're out and about and you see somebody out and about, compliment them. If you say something nice to someone that you might want to talk to, or just in order to start a conversation, it can really break the ice. It's not creepy, it's not weird, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. I compliment people all the time, and it genuinely is because I love making people feel good about themselves. I think that there's something that you can see good in everybody, and I really look for opportunities to do that. It makes me feel good, it makes the other person feel good. Now, every single time you compliment someone, that doesn't mean that that person is going to become your friend, that you're going to have things in common, but you never know how it could open the conversation to really allow you to get to know that maybe you do have things in common. Maybe you are the kind of people that would stay in touch. Maybe you do have some common connections even that you know. It's very interesting what you can find out when you open the lines of communication with someone, and I find that saying something nice to someone or giving someone a compliment is a really easygoing, really simple way to do that makes them feel good, and it will allow you to start a conversation, get to know someone in a very comfortable way for both of you. So compliment someone, because you never know what can come out of that. The fourth tip I have for you to make new friends is to be willing to take some risks. Now, we are all afraid of rejection to some degree as adults, even if we don't admit it, we are. Now, remember as kids when you very easily used to go up to kids on the playground and ask them to play with you? It wasn't a big deal, everybody did it. But now, if you go up to someone and ask them to do something with you, if you don't know them very well, it can feel very risky and very uncomfortable. Sometimes to make new friends, you really do have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to take a risk. So recently, I made a new friend because I took a risk, and I shared a video about this actually on my fashion channel. I'm going to link that below in case you haven't seen it. It's a very heartwarming story of how I made a new friend because I bought a handbag on a selling platform where her and I both sell items, and just through our brief interaction, I thought, this is a person that I really like, that I can see myself getting to know better, that I like to get to know better, and I reached out to her on another social media platform and I asked her, would you like to stay in touch? I really like you. And she said yes, and through that we developed a friendship. She doesn't live in the local area. We've already had one virtual online chat. We've talked on the phone several times, and I really, really like her. So I'm going to link that video below if you do want to see that. But that's an example of how I took a risk to make a new friend. Sometimes you do have to get out of your comfort zone. You just have to be the one to ask someone, hey, do you want to grab coffee? Do you want to have a virtual date? Do you want to do something? Be willing to take that risk. Be willing to risk rejection. Most people are not going to reject you. Most people will be really happy and honored that you asked them, because a lot of people simply sit around waiting for other people to take the initiative because they're afraid, they're nervous, or they're not the kind of people that take the initiative. But if making new friends is really important to you, then you do have to be willing to take that initiative and take the first step sometime and take that risk. That is another really important way that you can make new friends. Now, the last tip I'm going to give you on how to make new friends really seems like it's not a tip on how to make new friends, but it really is, and I'm going to explain to you what I mean. That is simply to be comfortable being alone. If you're a person that doesn't have a lot of friends, or you want to make new friends, or maybe you feel lonely a lot of the time, be introspective, really grow yourself personally, be comfortable being alone so that you're ready and in an emotional place to attract people to you when you have the opportunity. People, unfortunately, can smell desperation. They can smell when someone's really desperate to make a new friend. I had an experience on social media that was really not good and really disconcerting, but really just shows when you exercise desperation, people know, and it's not attractive and it doesn't attract people to you. I had a man reach out to me and really start a conversation with me and said he was looking for a woman to date, and I said, well, I'm not available, that's not an option for me. And so then he proceeded to give me his phone number and send me pictures and tell me, give my information out to your friends that are single. Well, this is a man that I had never met, that I don't know, that I have no personal relationship with, and that really comes off as being creepy and desperate. You don't want to do that. You want to really be in a place emotionally where you're healthy, where you're comfortable with yourself, where you're good with yourself, so that when you are in a position where you have the opportunity to attract people to you and make new friends, that you can come off being healthy and secure and feeling really good about yourself, because that's attractive to other people. So really taking the time to be comfortable with yourself and really knowing yourself, I think, is a really good key in regards to making new friends as you're doing some self-development and self-growth and really becoming comfortable being alone and being with yourself, is to make the time to reach out to people. Like I said before, so many times we wait for other people to reach out to us. We get offended when they don't, but instead of getting offended or just waiting around, take that initiative, make the time to reach out. It does take time, especially as an adult, to develop friendships. It doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't happen overnight. Write that email, send that text, write that letter, send that card. Do something to make that person that you want to develop that friendship with be thinking of you and have you at top of mind. Do something to make someone feel good. Take the time, take the initiative, and really work on being comfortable with yourself. So those are my 5 tips. I hope you found those helpful. Next week, as I said, we are going to talk about deepening the friendships that you already have and ways that we can do that. So remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell if you don't want to miss that video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I will look forward to seeing you in my next video, and remember to make your everyday ordinary life extraordinary.